Shalom, 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 Israel. Right? The mind coming back at you in another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah. Right? I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, Rekakadash. Right? And I'm going to give double honor to the elders and apostles of the house of David, who's been ruling well through the spirit and power of the Most High, Yahweh Shemel Shah. Right? I want to give a mighty shalom, a peace and salutation to the hopeful elect that's scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Right? And I also want to give a shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad. Right? I'm going to get right into it. It's a quick lesson. Right? Call all y'all Bashim Shah. Right? Today's lesson is going to be on Isaiah the 58th chapter, man. Right? So the perception is, right, Isaiah 58, and mainly the key verses that need to be addressed is verse 13 and verse 14, right? Because a lot of brothers and sisters, including myself, has been taught that Isaiah the 58th chapter or Isaiah 58 and 13 on down is dealing with the Sabbath, right? When I say Sabbath, I mean the 7-day Sabbath, man. Right? But when you read it, you understand that it's not talking about the actual Sabbath. It's dealing with a Sabbath, but it's not as the Saturday Sabbath, right, or lunar Sabbath, as other brothers and sisters will keep. Right? But before we get started, I want to get the book of Proverbs. Book of Proverbs, chapter 4, and verse number 7. It say, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding." Right? So we are here to get understanding. All right? So we're going to start it off. Isaiah 58 and 1. It said, "Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Israel their sin." Right? So when you see your brother and your sister, all right, go off, you're supposed to cry loud, man. You're supposed to say something, man. Right? It might be, you might yell, scream, right? Be loud. You got to lift your voice as a trumpet, man. Right? You got to stand your ground when dealing with the Israelites. Verse 2, it said, "Yet they seek me daily." Right? They seek me daily and delight to know my ways, as a nation that did righteousness and forsook not the ordinance of their power. They ask of me the ordinance of justice. They take delight in approaching to the Most High. Right? Now, verse 3 is where the context starts. Right? It say, "Wherefore we have fasted, say they, and thou seest not. Wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and have taken no knowledge. Behold, in the day of your fast ye find pleasure, and exact all your labors." Right? So what day, all right, the question is, what day do we afflict our soul? Let's go to Leviticus 23. Right? What day do we afflict our souls? Right? And it's the Day of Atonement, right? It's Leviticus 23 and 26. It say, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, also on the 10th month, so like also on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls. Right? Let's read verse 3 again. "Wherefore we have fasted, say they, and thou seest not. Wherefore we have afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge. Behold, in the day of your fast ye find no pleasure, and exact all your labors." Right? Mean to abstain from all your labors. Right? Which is servile work. Right? Also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement, and it shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And ye shall do no work in the same day. Right? You shall exact from all your labors. For it is the day of atonement, to make atonement for you before Yahweh your power. For whosoever soul it be that shall not afflict in the same day, he should be cut off among the people. And whosoever soul it be that doeth any work in the same day, the same soul will I destroy from among the people. He should do no manner of work, and it should be a statute forever throughout your generations and all your dwelling. And it should be unto you, right? It should be in you a what? It should be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the month. At evening, from the evening, shall ye celebrate your month, right? So that's proving, right, that the Day of Atonement is the day you afflict your souls. It's the day you fast. Now, you got brothers and sisters that might fast on their own time, do their own fast, but the fast day where everybody, the whole nation is supposed to fast is the Day of Atonement, right? So, and that's the day you afflict your souls. How you afflict your souls? With mourning, with bull rush, ashes on your head, right? No eating or drinking for exactly 24 hours from sundown to sundown, right? Verse 4, behold, ye fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. Ye should not fast as ye do this day, to make your voice be heard on high, right? This is a high holiday. This is a sacred day, right? It's to be separated from any other day, right? Right? And how you are doing that? You are afflicting your soul. You're fasting. You're praying. You're reading, right? You're not doing no servile work, right? You're not doing your own pleasures on this day, right? You cannot say this is talking about the actual Sabbath, because the actual Sabbath it's a feast day, right? The actual Sabbath is a feast day. This is not a feast day. This is a holy convocation, right? Which the Sabbath is too. But this is a sacred day. It's a solemn assembly, man. Just like the Passover, right? You cannot, and what you do on the feast day, you do your pleasures on the feast day, right? You might want to eat, drink, and be merry, right? You might want to listen to some music, right? And so on and so forth. The Day of Atonement is completely separate from the Sabbath, man. It's a Sabbath, but it's separate, right? It's a day you're not supposed to do your own pleasures. You're supposed to be strictly afflicting your soul on that day, man, right? Right, verse 5, and it says, it is such a fast that I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict his soul. A day, right? A day that, so like it says, it is such a fast I have chosen, right? This is what the Lord, this is the fast day that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua has chosen. We did not choose this day, right? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua have ordained this, right? He said, a fast I have chosen. A day for a man to afflict his soul. It is to bow down his head to bulrush and to spread sackcloth, right, and ashes under him. Right? And it say, wilt thou call this a fast, an acceptable day of the Lord, or Yahweh? Right? All right, bear with me. Right? Verse 6, and it say, right, verse 6, it say, it is not this is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the band of wickedness and to undo the heavy burdens and to let the oppressed go free, right? Because why? Because during the Day of Atonement, right? Then you got the year of Jubilees, man, right? It was the oppressed go free, debts are free, right? You got feast of first fruits coming up. And things in that sort, man, right? Right. So the year of Jubilees, right, was 49 Sabbaths, right, and then the 50th one. That's the year of Jubilees, right? So this is how you know this is talking about the Day of Atonement, right? I want to see something. All right, verse 7. It is not the deal, and I know I probably butchered it, but brothers know what I mean, man. Right, dealing with the year of Jubilees and right, things of that sort, man. Right. And I said feast of first fruits, so lucky. I ain't mean to say that, but They're dealing with the year of Jubilees. Right, verse 7, they say, it is not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are cast out of thy house, when thou seest the naked, and thou shalt cover him, thou cover him, and that thou hidest not thyself from thy own flesh. Then shall thy light break forth as the morning, and thy health shall spring forth speedily, and thy righteousness shall go before thee. The glory of the Lord shall they be rewarded. Right? We go to verse 9. Then shalt thou call, and the Yahweh shall answer. Shalt thou cry, and he shall say, here I am. Right? If thou take away from the midst of the yoke, right? The putting forth of the finger and speaking vanity. And if thou draw out thy soul to the hungry and satisfy the afflicted soul, then shall thy light rise and obscurity, and thy darkness shall be as noonday. And the Lord shall guide thee continually and satisfy thy soul in drought and make fat thy bones, and thou shalt be like a water garden, like a spring of water whose water shall fail not. And they shall not be of these, and they shall be of thee, shall build the old waste places, and thou shalt raise up the foundations of many generations. Right? It's kind of windy out here. And thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach and restorer of the pastoral land. Right? Dealing with feeding the poor, taking care of the poor, and doing what the Most High say, man. Right? Putting forth that light. Right? Verse 13. Right? Verse 13. Bear with me, Israel. Right? It says, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pledges on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shall honor, right, him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasures, nor speaking thy own words. Right? So what's a pleasure? Right? Let's go into the etymology. Just bear with me, Israel. Right. Right, thy pleasures. Right, it means, this is the word.
Strong's H 2656. Hafetz.
Hafetz, right? It means to delight, pleasure, delight, desire, longing, the good pleasure that which one takes delight. Right? And there's some key words: acceptable, desire, pleasant, willingly, delightsome. It says as something in mind, acceptable, delight, desire, things desired, matter, pleasant, purpose, willingly. Mainly dealing with desires, right? So that could be anything, right? Something that you delight in. Right? So let's go back. Let's get some more words. Well, all right, delight. Let's go to that word delight. Windy as hell out here, Salaki. Damn Satan, man. Right. They say exquisite delight, dauntingness, delight, pleasantness. Right. It means a luxury. Right. So I might want to go in the kitchen and eat me a sandwich. I really have pleasure in eating a sandwich. Right. I have pleasure in sleeping. Right. I might have pleasure of watching YouTube. It could be a cat video. I might have pleasure in that. Right. So it say doing thy own pleasures. Right. So you gotta make it make sense, man. You gotta really go into that and understand what it's talking about. Right. Because the Sabbath is a feast day. Right. A feast day where you can come together. Right. You can eat. You know. You might want to watch some cat videos. You might want to read the scriptures. Right? Whatever you decide to do on your Sabbath, man. Right? As long as it's not breaking the laws of God. All right? And how do we make the Sabbath holy, set apart? Right? Let's go to Exodus. Exodus chapter 20 and verse number Exodus chapter 20 and verse number 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days should thou labor and do all thy work, right? So 6 days should thou labor and do all thy work. Right? Say the same thing Isaiah 58, right? And we read in Isaiah 58, Leviticus 23, that the Day of Atonement, you're not supposed to do any work, right, on that same day. Right? But, brothers can correct me if I'm wrong, but the Day of Atonement is dealing with, the year of Jubilees and all that. It has something to play in it too. The high priest, right? Verse 10. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy power, right? Yahweh. In it thou shalt not do any work, right? You can't work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that's within thy gate, right? And that stranger is double fold, man. It could be an Israelite foreigner, right? Or it can be an Israelite, and it can be a heathen, man. Right? And it say, for in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Before the Lord blessed the Sabbath, right? Wherefore the Lord Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, right? Meaning sanctified it and made it set apart, right? So you can't work, right? Which is servile work, right? You can't buy and sell, right? And you can't cook, right? Them are the three things, right, that you have to do to make the Sabbath sanctified, right? You have to prepare a day before. That's Exodus 16:22, right? You can't work, right? Do servile work. Go clock in, punch a clock, right? And you can't buy and sell, right? That's what the law said. Right, so buying and selling, or it doesn't say actually buying and selling, but when you go into the etymology of the Sabbath, right, or work, going into the word work, it means an occupation. It means a business, right? No business is supposed to be running on the Sabbath. It's supposed to be a day of rest, a day from all your work. So there will be no buying and selling anyway, right? But I want to just point out something else. Bear with me. Right, Leviticus 23 and 32, and it should be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the month at evening, from evening, and shall ye celebrate what? Your Sabbath, right? And Salakia, and right after the Day of Atonement is Feast of Tabernacles. Right? But I want to just point out something. Give me. All right, just bear with me. All right, bear with me. All right, that's it. Right, but I want to go into that word Sabbath as well. All right, bear with me. right? So I was correct, right? The Day of Atonement is dealing with the year of Jubilees as well. What's up, man? Right. So the Day of Atonement is dealing with the year of Jubilees. I just wanted to make sure I correct myself, man. Make sure I was correct on that. So. Bear with me as well. Damn wind, man. It's kind of windy out here. I'm gonna read this in the GNT. Right, this to further prove. Right. Right. It's Leviticus 25 and 8 in the GNT. It said count 7 times 7 years, a total of 49 years. Then on the 10th day of the 7th month, right, the Day of Atonement, sent someone to blow the trumpet throughout the whole land. This is the way you shall set the 50th year apart and proclaim freedom to all the inhabitants of the land. During this year, all property that has been sold shall be restored to the original owner or his descendants, and anyone who has been sold as a slave shall return to his family. Right? Just to point that out, just to be correct, right? That the Day of Atonement is also dealing with the year of Jubilees. So 7 times 7 equals 49. That 50th year is the year of Jubilees. Right. Well, this is verse 6, Isaiah 58 and 6. It says, it is not this, the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, and to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke. Right, let the oppressed go free. And in the year of Jubilee, that 50th year, all slaves must be set free. Right? That's how you know this chapter is dealing with the Day of Atonement, man. Right? And I also want to make another point. In the word Sabbath. Right?
Strong's H7676. Shabbath. Shabbath.
Right, Shabbath. Right? It means Sabbath, Day of Atonement, Sabbath year, week, produce, and Sabbath year. Right? So that further proves that Isaiah 58:13, right, is dealing with the Day of Atonement, man. Right? But there's been countless breakdowns on this, you know, and we can't add to the law, man. We can't add to the law on certain things. You got brothers say you can't do certain things on the Sabbath, right? But you got to prove that in the law, man. You got to prove that in the law. The Bible said, prove all things, hold fathom, which is good. Or this Deuteronomy 4 and 2, it said, ye should not add into the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish out from it, that ye may keep the commandments of Yahweh your power, which I command you. So when you say something that's a sin, that's why you got to be careful. When you say something that's a sin, right, you actually in sin, man, right? Because you add into the law, right? And your own mouth is condemning you, man. Right? Let's get Job 15. All right, I think it's about to rain in a minute. I'm gonna wrap this up as soon as possible. Right, this is Job 15 and 6. It say, thy own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yeah, thy own lips testify against thee. Right, so you end up condemning yourself, man, because right, you know something is not a sin. Right, it might be a particular thing that you might not be into. Right, which is Sirach 37. Right, I'm trying to make haste because I think it's about to pour, man. Pour down raining. It's the New Year's, man. It's the beginning of spring. All right, this is Sirach 37 and 27. It said, my son, prove thy soul and thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that into it. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything, right? So something that might not be for you, it might be for the next man, right? So that's what you got to understand. Right. So the Day of Atonement is dealing with Isaiah 58 and 13. The whole chapter is dealing with the Day of Atonement. Right. feeding, taking care of the oppressed, right? And we gonna come upon our year of jubilees as well when we get delivered out of here, man. Right? Let me move because it's about to start pouring. All right, just bear with me. Just bear with me. All right, Salakia. All right, so we about to deal with our own year of jubilees because that's the gospel, right? The free of the captives, right? That's dealing with the year of jubilee, Leviticus the 25th chapter, right, which goes along with the Day of Atonement, right? So if somebody purchase land, property, the property must go back to the original owner. All servants and slaves must be free, right? Crops, right? You have something called the land Sabbath, right? we can continue on that, right? Verse 11, Leviticus 25 and 11, it says, "Ye should not sow your fields or harvest the corn that grows by itself, or gather your grapes in your vineyard. The whole year shall be sacred for you. Sacred for you. You should eat only what the field produces of themselves." Right? So you only can eat what the field produces of itself. So it's stuff that you have not planted, right? Stuff that just grows on its own. That's what you may eat, because you gotta let the land rest. That's the land Sabbath, right? And it's saying this year all property that's been sold shall be restored to its original owner. So when you sell land to your fellow Israelite or buy land from him, do not deal unfairly, right? Dealing with Leviticus 19 and 11. Right, and they say the price is to be fixed according to the number of years the land can produce crops. Right, so what this is dealing with is depending on how close is the year of jubilees, the property or the cost, it might be different from what the actual value is. Right, so it might be 5 years from the year of jubilees, the price might be a little cheaper. It might be 40 years from the year of jubilees, and the price might be a little bit more, up in that range, right? And if it be, verse 16, if there are many years, the price should be higher, right? And so it's a lot of years. It might be 40 years, 45, 48 years to the jubilees, and the price it might shoot up. It might be higher. But if there be only a few years, the price should be lower, because what is being sold is the number of crops in the land can produce. Right, so that's the value, the crops, the land, the soil, the resources of what you can get from that from the land, right? So it's depending how many years, according to the year of jubilees, that a property or land, it might go up, it might go down, right? So that's economics, man, right? So it goes deeper, man. All right, so the Day of Atonement, man, is a solemn feast day. Right, the Sabbath, not a solemn feast day, but a solemn day, solemn assembly. Right, so the Sabbath is a feast day, man. Right, Yahweh Shem Yahushua only said rest from your labors, man. On the Sabbath you might want to watch a little movie. You might want to play a video game. You might want to spend some time with your rib. All right, make love to your rib, and dealing with sex on the Sabbath, man. A lot of brothers say that's going off, that's sin. The only thing about that, man, is if you are unclean or you ritually unclean, you just couldn't come to the temple, right? You couldn't come to the synagogue, right? You got to think about when David went into the temple to eat the showbread. The priest asked him, "Have you been with women? Have you been with any women?" And he said no, and him or his men. Right, so you just couldn't come inside the temple, right? Because you'll be unclean, right? Being unclean is not a sin. The only time when being unclean is a sin, if you don't take the proper precautions, like cleaning yourself, because that would be breaking the laws of God anyway, right? So the question is, can you have sex on the Sabbath? Right, that's completely up to you. Right, you got Romans 7 and 7, Romans 4 and 15, right? You got 1 John 3 and 4, right? Romans 5 and 13, right? Deuteronomy 4 and 2, Deuteronomy 12 and 32, right? Hebrews 13 and 4, right? The bed is undefiled, right? So it's all things are not profitable for all men, right? But in order to prove these things, man, you have to search the scriptures daily, right? Manning the law, you got to go into the law, right? Because we say all day, every day, that the law determines what sin is. So you have to go into the law and prove it, right? You can't go into Numbers 15:32, right? We didn't see it all. We didn't see it all. Numbers 15:32, right? It's dealing with servile work, right? And let me prove all things. Let me prove that. All right, Exodus 20 and 8. All right, let's go into the word work.
Strong's H 4399. Melacha. Melacha.
Or malakah, right? It means occupation, work, business, property, work, something done or made, workmanship, service, use, public business, political, and religious, right? Dealing with cattle, workmanship, labor, right? Servile work, employment, ministry. That's a cut, man. You're supposed to be in the synagogue. We really don't have a synagogue, but the Sabbath is when you're supposed to come around brothers and sisters and learn the law, man. Right? It said ministry, right? So technically, you're supposed to do the work on 6 working days that the Most High give you. Then that 7th day that you rest. But you want to be technical, brothers got to work. Do all, they got to work. Hours might be different from other brothers, like myself, I work in the afternoon. Some brothers might work at night. Brothers work in the morning, different shifts. But technically, you're not supposed to, do any work on the Sabbath, man. That's dealing with the ministry as well, man. Right? If you want to, stay in the crib and do a lesson, then that's different. But you're supposed to rest from all your labors, right? When you're dealing with Paul, Peter, and the apostles, what did they do on the Sabbath? They went inside the synagogue and taught. What did Yahushua do on the Sabbath? He went inside the synagogue and taught. You know what I'm saying? So it is different things, man. But hey, we rehearsing the righteous acts. We're doing everything to the best of our ability. So right there, I don't really nitpick on. You know what I'm saying? I still go out on the Shabbat and sometimes and do the work and things of that sort. So I'm doing the work now. So I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kakadash. Lord willing, this has been edifying. Brothers want to time in, and give correction, or you feel like I went off, or don't be hesitate to comment below, man, and then we can see, and we can go through the scriptures and see if these things are so, man. Shalom.